morning. It's Easter Monday, 119th day of this fourth year, and I decided instead of just leaving the subject I was recently on over the weekend, I want to give you 5 more movements from Bach's B minor Mass, almost in pure celebration, you might say. I've made a playlist. And to do that, to make that playlist, I couldn't get everything from a single choir that satisfied me. In Leipzig, Germany, there was a Bachfest. The year was 2000. I think it was the 250th year anniversary of either the composition of the B minor Mass or Bach's birth or something. It wouldn't have been Bach's birth. I'm just not sure. But you could look it up if you want. But then there were 2 movements that I wanted that weren't there. So I found a choir in Lithuania. Well, I used it in the last playlist. And that's the choir that I used for these 2 movements. Now, Bach is not always this upbeat. You could get a sort of a false impression. There's some very dark pieces, musically dark pieces that Bach did. But I just chose to be upbeat. I imagine the key is D. I'm almost certain the key is the key of D in major for the upbeat pieces. And you will see so many perfect singers. They're virtually perfect, both young and old, both in Germany, the young ones, and in Lithuania, the adults. They're perfect. I suspect, I'm not certain, but that in Leipzig, when they're singing Voluntatis, Bone Pax Minimus, Bone Voluntatis, peace on earth to men of goodwill. Voluntatis, I think they trill. I think there's a choral trill on that syllable. You listen yourself if you want. That's a very big choir and a very young choir to be doing a choral trill, but I think that's what I hear. And the conducting in Leipzig is so good. That conductor is so good, and of course the filming is right on the money. I mean, it's right in sync. Now these 2 movements, Confiteor and Et Expecto. Well, Et Expecto is a little bit like an echo of Resurrexit. Et Expecto means and I look for the resurrection of the dead, is the rest of it. And once again, it kind of leaps. Like it did for at Resurrexit. But the modulations between these 2, Confiteor is not as charming. And I guess I should probably underline these 2 because they're Latin. It's not as charming, and it might seem a little bit long for you to listen to. But at the end of Et Confiteor, and I trust in one baptism for the remission of sins, I think is the text. After that, it slows down, and then I really wanted to get those 2 back to back because it goes through a series of modulations. Bach was, I would say, he was the greatest harmonizer of all time. I don't think, at least of that kind, and he runs through these harmonies slowly. And then it finally, those are called modulations, when you shift from one key into another, something which really only became possible after the equal temperament scale was used. And I wanted you to hear those, and then it goes into Et Expecto. Then I go back to Leipzig with Cum Sancto Spiritu, just because of the fugue and because it's just so delightful. So I rather hope that you go to my playlist and enjoy it more than once, I hope. Tomorrow we'll be doing something else. Bye for now.